This is David Randall, Master Lecturer at Boston University School of Management. This vidcast, Rudiments of Online Legal Research, introduces basic approaches to online research. Part 1 focuses on Google as a legal research tool, highlighting its utility and limitations. Later parts focus on use of LexisNexis Academic, which Boston University students can access through the university's library website. We all know Google is terrific for basic online search queries. It's also useful for general legal research. So, if you are involved in a landlord-tenant dispute, you might look up what are a residential tenant's rights under Massachusetts law. And you'll see you get a number of responses just sticking to the first page of hits here. We get sources, resources from the massgov.website, nolo.com, massrealestatelaw.blog.com, the Massachusetts state statutes, a number of good general sites. So, Google is very useful for quick and dirty research, legal research on topics like that. Let's do a query that's closer to the heart of our internet law course. What legal claims did the recording industry bring against Napster? This search yields promising results about the recording industry's suit against Napster, about file sharing and related topics. If we scroll down, you can just get a sense of what the titles are. But what if I want to limit the results to court cases? This is good for general background on the Napster suit, but what if I want to read the legal decision that ordered Napster's shutdown? There's an app for that, or to be precise, a specialized Google search tool for that called Google Scholar. Here are two ways to reach Google Scholar. First, you can click on the Google Products grid in the upper part of the Google page. To open the listing of all Google products, it requires a couple of clicks to click through to the entire list, and then scroll down to specialized search, a number of specific search engines, including Scholar for scholarly papers. Second, you could also just enter scholar.google.com in your browser's address bar or in your browser search field, depending on what browser you use. But either way, you come to this page. The default selection when you arrive at Google Scholar is articles including patents. We'll enter our last query. What legal claims did the recording industry bring against Napster? And select it. And selecting articles as a source, the result is a list of academic-sounding sources and titles. Media Culture and Society, Advances in the Study of Entrepreneurship, Journal of Law and Economics, Review of Industrial Organization. Here's a very academic-sounding title, Social Movement Organizations, a Metaphor for Strategic Actors in Institutional Fields. I have no idea what that means, but not of concern to us now. These articles certainly appear to have more robust scholarly credentials than, for instance, the Wikipedia articles listed in our earlier general web search. But we came here to look for court cases dealing with Napster's shutdown, so let's redefine our results. Select case law from the left-hand column, and we get over 400 cases. But in the first 10 hits here, only one of these cases names Napster. So let's select it. I'm going to open it in a new tab, which I like to do. And this case looks promising. But is this the right one? Is this the case that ordered Napster's shutdown? Maybe it is. But, a case like Napster, which went on for a while, there might have been multiple legal decisions. You need to do a bit more digging. You shouldn't just assume that the first thing you find is the right case. You should always assume you're missing something. So we note that this case is not captioned RIAA, Recording Industry Association of America versus Napster. It actually names a number of specific recording companies, beginning with A&M Records. So since we know that's how this case has been captioned, let's go back to Google Scholar and do a new search on those case names, A&M Records versus Napster. Of course, as soon as I start to type, since I have already done these searches in the dry run for this vidcast, they all pop up from memory. This is much better. On the first page, there appear to be at least 3 or 4 different decisions captioned A&M Records versus Napster. This may be great. These results may be all we need, depending on what our goals are. If we want to understand the history of this suit, then these cases may tell us most or all of the story. But the problem here, and this is symptomatic of the problem generally with using Google Scholar for legal research, is that the results lack context. They don't state the relationship between the various cases. They don't tell us whether any of these cases were appealed and what happened to them. As a lawyer, the case citations provide me some clues about relationships between these decisions. So, for instance, this is a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals decision, as is this, from 2001, 2002. And so these are clearly appeals of trial court decisions, possibly, probably these decisions down here. But the point is that just by looking at these returned results, I don't know what the relationship is between them. Excuse me, let me shut that message from my son. And more importantly, for this vidcast target audience, which is undergraduates untrained in legal research, I don't expect these case citations to really provide you any clues at all. So we want search tools that provide context and jumpstart our analysis. So the next vidcast in this series uses one of those tools, LexisNexis Academic. If you'd like to be introduced to that, go on to part 2 of this series, Rudiments of Online Legal Research. Thank you.